Okay, so up next I've got a group of, no, it's not a group, two young, pretty women. The projects that they're undertaking is one that is exciting because they got the opportunity to school outside. They're back working in the country and they think they can help with what they have acquired. So we'll find out more from them. Christabel Datsi and Estella Anko. I want to say good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your story, Christabel?
First of all, thank you for having us. My personal story is that I left in 1999 to go to college, essentially. Stayed on, did some work, went to do my master's, worked some more, and then in 2010, January 1, I decided that by the end of the year, I'll be back home.
Okay.
By June 1, I was here. My dream was that when I got on that plane, I would be on the plane with the entire plane full of Ghanaian returnees like myself, coming back
But was that the case?
to make the difference. I was the only one. So I got to Ghana and I decided, you know what? Watched my sister come from the UK, same kind of deal a few years prior, and she left because she was just so frustrated, just could not fit in. And a year later, I decided, you know what? It would be good to have a support network for people that, you know, have been through the experience. You find that there's an us versus them, which is unfortunate. But whether we like it or not, we need to embrace the fact that we've been outside for a while. We've learned different things. We've had different struggles. And then it would be good to support ourselves once we come.
Estella, you know what they say? You guys are better off than those of us who did all our education here. Because if we're looking for a job, they will take you first. You've heard that?
I've heard that, and in some cases it's true, but this is part of the reason why we formed the group Ahaspora. I wouldn't say that we're better than that. We've been exposed to different things, a different way of learning, a different way of applying that learning. Here in Ghana, I always say when we were in secondary school, when we were in primary school, you wrote memorization, sit down, learn it. That's it, you know, the whole troop or forget ideology. But when you go outside, it's more of how do you apply that learning, finding different ways of acquiring that learning. And, you know, once you are able to really sit down and critically think about a situation, you're able to quickly solve, you know, issues instead of just saying, well, I didn't learn it in a textbook, so I don't know how to solve this issue. So that's part of the reason why we formed Ahaspora, to get like minds. There are a lot of people who actually didn't leave Ghana, but they still possess those skills or they want to possess them. So it's really just like minds getting together and finding a way to, you know, strategize with some of our serious problems.
So how about help us a bit with the kind of exposure that you have had? Some of the lecturers have been outside, they studied outside, yet we still go on with the whole idea of somebody comes out with the handouts and they set exam questions and everything is coming from the handouts. You have to, is it cut and paste, but fill in the blanks, strictly coming from the handouts. Why is it that even when some of our teachers still school outside, they still come back and practice the same old style of learning here in Ghana?
I'd say it's a systemic problem. We have our education system set up a certain way. I don't believe that it's that they don't know. I believe that that is the structure. And it's sad to say, but if you think about it also, within the learning system, for the most part, they don't make a lot of money as lecturers. So why put in that extra effort to go do that extra research that you need to do to teach these kids to apply? It's easier if you just spit out a handout because, you know, in the end, you're thinking, you know, how much effort do I want to put in? And I generalize, right? Because not all our professors and lecturers are like that, but that's that is the, I'd say, the norm, basically. So it's not the best in the sense, because then what you have is that students graduate from, you know, university, let's say computer science major, and there are people who have never seen a computer before. You know, or you have students who graduate with one degree, and then if it so happens they don't find a job in that degree, then you have a problem.
And then I'd also say the way that we receive that knowledge as well. As students, we are taught to sit down and just be recipients. We're not taught to engage. So when you go into a classroom as a teacher, maybe you've been exposed to a different kind of teaching method, and you go in and you say, oh, well, let's try it like this. What are your thoughts? Everyone is sitting down. Quiet. because they're not used to that.
I get it. Sometimes you have to keep pushing before people would start getting interactive with you in the classroom.
Exactly.
Or you ask the questions and they're not answered. So I use myself as an example, and I won't say where I went to school, but in high school, I had a chemistry teacher that, you know, came in and taught me organic, you know, the organic equations or whatever they're called. And each time he did it, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. He draws it on the board and you're supposed to just learn how it flows. I'm like, what does it do for me? Like, what's the end product? Never answered it.
Just remember the formula in the exam.
Exactly. So it wasn't until I went to the U.S. and a girlfriend of mine who's studying chemistry as a major in college was like, oh, when you're making soap, you need this. I was like, what? For, you know, years, because that's my brain, right? I apply things. So all I wanted to do was to be able to get somebody that would say apply. And if I got that, I probably would have done better.
So what's the way forward for us? I mean, let's talk about, in your own small way, what you're doing to help. Are you helping yourselves as persons who have studied outside and are now back home? Or you're helping persons like myself who have not been anywhere, but we've been here?
It's a little bit of both. So let me explain that. The name in itself speaks to who we are and what we want to do. So AHA, tree for here, and then spora is the stem of the diaspora. So we're here from the diaspora. But our main goal is to give back. And so last year we formed a mentorship program, inaugurated it with senior high school students. We had a bit of a debate. Do we do university or do we do high school? And we thought it would be better to do high school before they actually jump into their careers. And so the idea there is that we're exposing them to be able to ask these critical questions, to be able to think, to learn how to think, you know. And, you know, we're not teachers by training, but we have our personal stories to share. We're exposing them to other learned people that have had, you know, better careers, have made it far in life, that they can share their stories with them. And so it's a 3-year-long mentorship program for the exact same students, because we don't want it to be such that it's a one-time thing, you show up and you leave, and then they have one-on-one mentoring with our aspirants. Now, to answer the second part of your question is we're also a support system for ourselves. We have a listserv where we post jobs, health education, you know, different, you know, when Ebola came on, we had all these public education going on there. And we have a listserv right now of 600 people. Some are here, some are abroad, some are thinking about coming. And
they're all Ghanaians?
No, actually. We do have some expats who have joined the list. It's like minds, right? And then we do have people that have never left. And we joke about it when they're like, you know, are you sure I can be part of the group? I'm like, yeah, but you are AHA, so you can be part.
Okay, you're the poorer.
Exactly.
But how difficult is it coming back and actually deciding to live here? Isn't it frustrating with the blackouts, for instance?
Yeah, it's tough, but I think for me personally, you can't compare. I think wherever you go in life, if you spend your time comparing, you'll never be happy. So it's a kind of it's a thing. Well, yes, I know that when I was living in the United States, things went in a certain fashion. We only ever had, I think, the whole 12, 13 years it was 2. And it wasn't even a full day. There was a huge snowstorm, and then the power lines got cut off. Those were, out of 12 years, those were the only times that I had, you know, blackouts. But I mean, this is why we're here. You know, it's an opportunity to meet with other people and try and figure out what are the reasons. What can we do if in our small space to try and address some of these issues. So
you guys don't want to go back?
No.
I'm not gonna lie. Some days, yes. I'm serious. Like last night. No, like last night. I had some serious report to work on. Lights off. I'm like, what do I do? But you know what? It's home. It's home. And there's a different. I always say there's a different stress level in Ghana than there is abroad. Abroad, I mean, sometimes you're just going crazy. You're paying bills. All you do is pay bills, and you can't. My biggest thing is that you can impact that society, but think about it. 1,000 more people have done what you're doing there. Whereas here, just something little, like this mentoring program we're doing, and we have students show up for a 10 a.m. event at 8 a.m., ready, eager to learn. So you just look at them and you're like, you know what, I'm in the right place.
Okay, so how does it go? How do you get them, and how do they get on board?
Okay, so we're all about collaboration. And we work with a group called Ghana Think, which has the Junior Camp Project. And they are actually going around the nation identifying high schools, and they do career services.
Okay.
So what we did is that we collaborated with them, since they already have exposure to these students, and then we used their list. We try to stay away from the Preseks and the Achimotas and, you know, the Ibri Girls and Westleys, second tier.
Second
Exactly.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So is this for free? Do people get on board for free?
Absolutely free, and is sponsored totally by Ahasporans, which is another reason why we're here in our turnover discount.
So, as Christopher said, we are funding this all from our own pockets because we believe it's important.
Yeah, because you're rich. I mean, you went outside.
Oh, no.
Buy some time in your back.
Amen.
So,
We'll take it.
We still have to learn. Some of us are still paying. So, but one way that we have been trying to raise funds is through different projects. So, actually, tomorrow, Saturday, we're having a silent auction at the Laboni Coffee Shop at 4 o'clock. So come, we have a wide variety of items that people can come and bid on, and we're going to have a nice little get-together in the evening, but it should be really fun. We have tickets from AWA, we have gift certificates from Marina Well for spa packages. We have jewelry. I think I'm wearing a piece from BBD, Beads by Dorcas. I mean, we have just a bunch of different things that are available, and 100% of the proceeds go towards our mentorship program.
Okay, so come there and come and buy.
Come and buy.
And
come and bid and buy. It's real
buy.
simple. We'll have things on the table. You come, you see what you like, and then you write your name and the amount that you want. So the person with the highest bid wins.
Okay,
Yes.
but is this project of yours sustainable?
Yes, it is, and it is because we're actually working on making it even more sustainable. So we just a couple of days ago got a nod from Tigo to help us sponsor this year, and then early next year, because right now we've done it once, we've seen our mistakes, we're trying to fix it. We're going to go on a sponsorship spree so that it's past just us and our friends, but also get some organizations to help us out with monies that can probably project us a couple of years.
Okay, so is this the first that you're doing?
This is the second.
This is the second.
The first was last year, December 30th. We had the big inauguration with 100 SSS students and 35 mentors. And then throughout the year, they were, having one-on-one mentoring, and then this is the second one.
Okay, so how has it impacted on the children or the students that you dealt with?
So I'm an evaluator by profession. So during at the end of the mentorship program, we did a survey, and we did one a little bit later on. And it was impressive to see that the students remember some of the things we told them. They're applying them in school. And I'm not going to say every mentor is doing as well as others, but for the mentors that really were able to engage with the students, we've had their parents call us and say, you know what, thank you. My student has never been this vibrant and happy, and they just are getting an exposure in a way that they wouldn't actually ever be able to.
What do you teach them? Or what do you share with them?
Exactly, it's share, not teach. So we do bring in some career HR to tell them, interview practices. We teach them on leadership. Last year we did a session on civic education, which we think is highly important. I feel like we used to be way more patriotic, at least as a child, than we are now. Now all we do is complain, so we want to break that mold a little bit. And then just very simple things like time management. You asked me to be here at 8, I was here at 8. I'm not going to come at 8:30 thinking that your TV show will still be waiting for me. So it's that kind of mindset that we're trying to change. So the little, so-called little things, but that make a difference.
Okay. Estelle, so is this the first time you're participating?
No, well, actually, I helped with the planning for last year's, but unfortunately I wasn't here for Christmas. So.
Okay.
But this is the first time that I'm participating. But I see the benefits. I was fortunate to travel around Ghana this year through work, and I went to a lot of schools. And the need is so great. My hope is that as time progresses, we'll fix our mistakes and really expand this program. Because I would go to a school in, not picking on anybody's hometown, but I don't know.
You can use my hometown.
But you
I wouldn't mind.
You go in and you ask a question, and the students, they have the answer, but they're just too shy to ask. So one of the things that we, will discuss during the mentorship event is just how to have eye contact. Someone cannot, a lot of the times students are so shy that you're going to reprimand them or think what they're saying is stupid, that they won't even look at you in the face. And employers these days, those are the things that they're looking for. Someone who can articulate what they're thinking, someone who will not be afraid to fail. And that's how we progress in life. So these are some of the things that we are teaching, and I'm very excited.
All right. Do you do any in Accra, though?
Yes, it is here in Accra.
It's in Accra.
Yes, but we're in the future looking to go to other regions because we feel like Accra is oversaturated. But we do have students from 30 different schools across the country who came.
Okay. So as we end this, tell us how people can get in touch with you. Do you have a website that people can visit?
So it's www.ahaspora.com. And we have a Gmail account, ahaspora@gmail.com. Just get in touch with us. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. And once you do that, you can join.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
That's exciting. Thank you. Can I join?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll sign you up before I go home.
All right. Thank you. Because
Thank you.
I need some mentoring from you guys.
We need some from you.
All right. So Christabel Datsy, actually, and Estella Uncle, my guests from Ahaspora, sharing their project with us. So they give us different accounts. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, but I think Facebook is a good start. So just look for Ahaspora, Ahaspora, and get involved.